Regarding COVID-19, we're probably the organization that has made the most impact in COVID-19 R&D in the whole of Africa. And I can back up my statement with evidence. Even before COVID hit the shores of Nigeria, on the 27th, 28th of February last year, the Institute had put together a high-powered task team which looked at what happened in other countries, the gaps in the responses in other countries, and then tried to predict how we could provide homegrown solutions to prevent those kind of deleterious scenarios in Nigeria. And I'm sure if you go online and check, you would notice that within a few days of COVID coming into Nigeria, the Minister of Health invited us to launch our concept-developed hand sanitizers at the Ministry of Health. Before that time, the majority of hand sanitizers that were being sold in the Nigerian market were imported. And as you are aware, COVID disrupted all international supply chains. And what that meant was that even developed countries, countries in Europe and countries in Americas, had empty shelves where you should have had life-saving hand sanitizers as a tool for disrupting the spread of the virus. So what we did at NIPRD was to concept develop a hand sanitizer made of locally sourced materials, right? Produce these high-quality hand sanitizers, and then go ahead to now share the formula of those hand sanitizers as much as possible to local manufacturers who were interested in producing hand sanitizers. And that was one of the major reasons why you didn't see those kind of empty shelves in Nigeria, which you saw in Europe. That's number one. Number two is a few months into the pandemic, I'm sure you heard about some of the products that came in from other African countries where people claimed that they had products that could cure COVID-19. Before those products were let into the Nigerian populace, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria said that no phytomedicine or pharmaceutical product will be released to the population unless NIPRD undertakes the analysis of that product. It is on record that the analysis on that particular COVID organics preparation was done in the laboratories that you passed when you were coming upstairs. And our world-class results on that particular product is the reason why a lot of lives were saved, because what it meant was that a product that could not cure COVID-19 was not now used by the populace. And then secondly, millions of dollars were conserved, because rather than you spending money buying a product which did not have efficacy or effectiveness against COVID-19, you could channel the money to research and development and the procurement of other products. The name of the product was COVID Organics, and it was from Madagascar. We undertook the first categorical analysis for that product in the whole world. And our result, if you go on the internet and you check, categorical evidence, yes. We submitted a full dossier to the Minister of Health, who commissioned us to do that work. The Minister of Health made the announcement, and even at the PTF, the SGF, Boss Mustafa, made the same announcement. I can't remember off the top of my head what the details of the report were, but we were able to say what was in that product. We correctly identified Artemisia annua in that particular product, and we even compared the Artemisia annua in the product with the Artemisia annua that we grow here in the Institute as regards purity, quality, and other attributes. We're also able to identify that that product had two other unidentified constituents, including, what's it called now, a synthetic sweetener, We published all this. We were able to tell that that particular product had, we compared its ability to reduce fever, right, in animals, and we compared it to indomethacin. And we were able to identify that it had some effect in reducing fever, but not up to indomethacin. And we also identified that the product had expectorant properties, but our analysis did not provide, could not validate their claim that it could cure COVID-19. And after releasing that result, our report went viral in English and in French, and there is evidence, if you go online, that a lot of policymakers used our evidence to make policy decisions in that area. So that is groundbreaking work, if I may say so myself. So we've also been able to identify some other plants which grow here in Nigeria. This is a very good example, Andrographis paniculata. We were the first to put forward a hypothesis that this particular product could have some activity against COVID-19, okay? And based on our profiling of the product in preclinical tests, we put forward that hypothesis, and we've actually gone forward now to get this particular product listed by NAFDAC. Okay, so it was during COVID-19 that we're able to achieve the listing of NAFDAC. It being listed in NAFDAC means several things. One is that some of the tests that we've carried out in our own labs, even though our labs are ISO certified, ISO 9001 certified, a result from another lab validating some of the work that we've done here in NIPRD is a big plus in the scientific community. So the fact that NAFDAC had undertaken tests in terms of safety and other parameters prior to the listing of this product is actually validating some of the results that we've gotten here. But we've even gone further than that. We've now started putting processes to ensure that we can start undertaking the clinical trials for this product as against COVID-19. Something interesting you should know is that several months after we made our postulation that this particular product could have activity against COVID-19. No, I can't say it can cure until we have finished clinical trials. Okay. It is clinical trials that will determine exactly what that particular substance will do to a human body that has COVID in it. And that's the step where we're in. When you say it could have activity, it means you've done in vitro tests, so tests inside test tubes, right? And you've also done preclinical tests with animals, right? And then some of the profiles that you're seeing in the test tube or in animals indicate that it may have activity against COVID-19. But you cannot categorically say that a product can cure COVID-19 until you finish your clinical trials. That's the stage where we're about to enter. We're just about to enter the first phase of the clinical trials. Yeah. Yes, so it has been listed by NAFDAC, right? And what it means is that I can legally give this product to you. Do you understand? And you can legally buy this product in the market and take this product either as a preventive or as an adjunct to whatever treatment you're taking, because it has empirical evidence that it boosts the immune system. What you cannot legally do is to say that this product cures COVID-19. That you cannot legally do until you finish your clinical tests. Well, you've asked a double-barreled question. You've asked boosts human immune system, then you've asked against COVID-19. I've answered the against COVID-19 part of the question, that is clinical trials. But the first part of your question, which is there any international evidence? Yes. I have world-class scientists here in my institute. I am the most resourced agency of my kind in this part of the world. Close to 8 professors and 70-something masters and PhDs, all aggregated around the entire pharmacy value chain. And the studies we've done on this have been published in peer-reviewed journals. Peer review means that your contemporaries in other parts of the world have interrogated your science, right? And have looked at how you said you came to what the findings you came to, and have agreed that your results are actually probable from the methods that you used. But even further than that, it will interest you to know that shortly after we came up with our postulations, scientists in Thailand, right, have started using the tea from this particular plant in the management of COVID-19. So again, in the world of science, that is called triangulation. Scientists working on the same plant in different parts of the world coming independently to similar results is also validation of the work that we're doing here. Ours is in a capsule. Ours is more sophisticated in terms of formulation. Ours is in a capsule, whereas theirs is a tea. A capsule is a more sophisticated dosage form compared to a tea. So I'm not saying that the colleagues in Thailand, used our technology. No, I said that they independently came to similar conclusions as we did, because they also made their teas from Andrographis paniculata.
What is the layman's language for that?
It's not a common leaf, so I won't be able to tell you. It's not like ugu or onubu. No, I won't be able to tell you that, yes. But a lot of people in the scientific world, if you mention Andrographis paniculata, they will know what it is. It's not one of those plants that is commonly consumed, like say Azadirachta indica. Azadirachta indica is neem, which is dogon yarrow. It's commonly used and it's known in our context. So dogon yarrow is the Hausa name, neem is the popular name, and Azadirachta indica is the botanical name. This plant is not like that, So what will suffice is the botanical name, which is Andrographis paniculata. Yes, we have been engaged by the Oni of Ife. If I remember correctly, I think he wrote us recently indicating that he had several interventions. We haven't received any sample from the Oni yet, so I can't say that we've started validating his particular products, right? But the engagement is in terms of him communicating with us. We have definitely communicated with him. I've also spoken to him on a number of occasions. And more importantly, the ONI partnered with us when we went to train phytomedicinal practitioners in Osun State, which I believe is his home terrain. We identified that for a long time now, the herbal medicine sector, despite its significant potential, despite the fact that up to 70% of Nigerians still use phytomedicines and herbal medicines, despite the fact that it is an industry that can be developed to provide jobs, to provide income, to provide increased capacity for our citizenry, has been neglected. And we said, we will no longer sit in our 5-story building in Abuja and wait for people to come to us. So what we did was to redesign our engagement program, right? And we developed a phytomedicinal training program. And we started taking these phytomedicinal training programs to various states of the Federation. So Osun State was one of the states that we went to train phytomedicinal practitioners. If I remember correctly, I think we trained almost 100 phytomedicinal practitioners. The presence of the high chiefs that he sent demonstrated to the government of Osun State, demonstrated to the phytomedicinal practitioners, and demonstrated to other stakeholders in the healthcare and industrial sector in that particular geopolitical zone about how serious, high-value individuals are about developing phytomedicinal sector. So I would say that yes, we have had some engagement with the Oni of Ife. So that is a question I cannot answer except those particular products are subjected to laboratory analysis.
Okay, so for now,
so what we went, yes, those products have not been subjected to laboratory analysis. What we went to do was to build the capacity of the practitioners. Okay? So if you look at the phytomedicinal space or the herbal medicine space, there are two broad areas that need to be developed. One is the product, and then two is the capacity of the practitioner. Do you understand? So, and these things go hand in hand. So the practitioners need to understand the value of the knowledge that they are custodians of. The practitioners need to understand the different strategies that exist in mainstreaming those products. Because if you're sitting in your village in Osun State and you keep going to the bush, right, and collecting a plant and mixing it and giving to the people within your community, you're serving maybe 100 or 200 people. But if the same practitioner now understands that he needs to have a garden where he uses modern conservation techniques to cultivate those plants, then on the one hand, he has a more sustainable supply of the phytomedicines, okay? If the practitioner understands that instead of mixing those herbs, right, and selling to the people in his community, he needs to subject those herbs to rigorous scientific analysis that will document and prove the concept that he has been practicing. And based on that proof of concept, he will be able to apply for NAFDAC listing and NAFDAC registration. What it means is that that practitioner, instead of serving only 100 people in his community, can actually serve millions of people, because that product can now be used in Abuja, Lagos, New York, London, and Johannesburg. So that is the kind of information that that is the kind of capacity building that we went to do. But it will please you to know that that was just the very first step of our engagement. We've now been mandated to roll out that engagement in a modular fashion. So what we did was the beginner's level. We're going to go back to do the intermediate and the advanced level. So at each of these stages, we also have the practitioners do an exhibition of their products. In Kwara State, I think it was, we had an exhibition. The governor and the senator of that particular state went round with us. And there and then, the governor identified one product from his state within the array of products which there will be a potential for partnership in terms of developing the full potential. So these are, they go hand in hand, you know. So we've done very well in training the practitioners. So several things we need to unpack. It's not a yes or no answer. If you go on the NIPRD website, right, NIPRD is always open to consultancy requests. So if you, seated here right now, come up with a product and you feel that that product can cure COVID-19, right? You do not need to even see the Director General. You download the form from the website, fill it, bring the samples, pay the price, right? and that particular product will be analyzed according to the indication that you have said it has. So that is always there and has always been there. A lot of people have brought products for us to analyze for them. So we are always available for that analysis. However, analysis is not cheap. For every product that comes in, that you provide a catalog of tests that need to be done, right? Reagents need to be bought. Animals need to be bought, right? Various activities need to be budgeted for. If it is something that requires formulation, all those activities need to be budgeted for. And we have found that sometimes the true cost of that analysis is what prohibits a lot of these practitioners from bringing their products forward. And that's why, if you remember correctly, I said when we went to the states, we did what? We invited the state governors. Because we believe that phytomedicinal knowledge does not belong only to the practitioner. It belongs to Nigerians, right? And we've been saying this out, and I thank you for lending your platform for us to also send this message out, okay? People who have the funding should come forward and support the work that we do here at NIPRD. Nothing prevents your partners in the oil industry in saying that for 10 products which are submitted by Niger Delta practitioners, NIPRD calculates how much it will take you to analyze those products. They pay for the analysis and we undertake the analysis for those products. We've also done the same for state governors. We've done the same for various organizations. Unfortunately, from the development partner world and from the philanthropic world, we have not gotten the kind of response that indicates the level of patriotism that is required to move this sector forward. We received, I think one of the biggest we received recently is a 5.8 billion naira grant from the Japanese government to set up our nanotechnology lab. We've received some smaller grants from different organizations, and we are constantly, if we haven't sent out research proposals and concept notes and had engagement meetings, we would have done close to 70, 75 of those activities. And there are different stages of success, but I can't remember this figure of $10 million. Did it come to NIPRD? Are you sure it came to NIPRD? So the only figure which is close to 5 billion that we've gotten recently is the one I've just given you, which is 5.8 billion from the Japanese government for our nanotechnology lab. Okay. Yeah, so
it has nothing to do with COVID-19?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with COVID-19.
Okay.
Well, like I said, we're at different stages of engagement, so I can't be categorical. If you're specific with an amount or with an organization, I can provide more insight. So, for instance, you said $10 million, and I did a quick calculation, and the closest to $10 million is 5.8, and I've given you the details for that particular one. But you can't expect me off the top of my head to give you a roll down of the 70, 75 different engagements that we've had in terms of looking for various forms of support. Oh, I wish if you're going to bring us a check of $100 million, I will gladly take. I haven't seen $100 million since I started this job. But what I can say categorically is that NIPRD focuses on science, research, and development that will enable us use our scientists to get the most of the plants and animals that grow in our backyard in order to treat the diseases that plague us. It is rather sad that the majority of the support that NIPRD has gotten is from outside Nigeria. Because if you look at it logically, the people who should focus on supporting NIPRD more are philanthropists whose backyard we are dealing with, whose parents and children are dying of the diseases that we undertake research and development. And I'll give you a classical example. This particular product is one of the world's most renowned phytomedicines for sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell is a disease that plagues only black people. And 1 out of every 4 or 1 out of every 5 black people, 1 out of every 4 or 1 out of every 5 blacks you meet are Nigerians. So common sense should tell you that Nigerian so-called billionaires, having seen that NIPRD has the international reputation and science to develop this product, which is used in over 40 countries across the world, should be supported. You look at it, it has a NAFDAC number, right? Our partner, NAFDAC number means that the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control has done independent tests before giving that number, right? The partner you see down here is May & Baker. May & Baker is an organization that has a pedigree of over 80 years in the pharmaceutical sector, okay? So you can't have these things on a product and then you pick up one report from the internet that says it failed. The permission for NIPRD to partner with May & Baker on this particular product was given at the Federal Executive Council. That's at the highest levels of government. So I would really, view that report you saw that reported this product as a failure with some concern.